Right, fire away, mate.
Okay, my name's Matt. I'm calling from the decision-making team in Hanley. I know you've asked for a phone call back this afternoon. Just before I go any further, could you just confirm your date of birth and your postcode, please, just for security?
Yeah, it's
Okay, that's great. Now, I understand you spoke to one of my colleagues, Yvonne, earlier this afternoon. I'm just calling because we obviously have suspicion in recording phone calls. There's a history of that looking through your notes. So I'm just ringing to let you know we're going to send out written confirmation of the reasons as to the decision that was made. Okay.
what decision are you referring to exactly?
Well, this is the one that you rang up and asked for an explanation about.
This is regarding the sanction of Tom on the 17th of March.
It was on the 18th of March for a period of the 4th of March to the
Yeah,
9th.
but the actual sign-on session was the 17th of March, so it would have been from there, wouldn't it?
Yeah, the decision was made the day after.
Right, and on 3 calls to the DWP on the 20th of March, I first spoke to Peter, who stated the reason was I wasn't actively seeking work. I got an unknown call back from an unknown person later on who hung up on me, and I phoned back and spoke to Paul, who stated that no evidence. So that's basically a lie. So because I have the evidence, I brought it. I stated that I was there to sign on and to show him the evidence that I'd brought to the jobs I'd applied for. I stated that to him. I asked to proceed several times. And so if that referral has still gone through, then that's an unlawful action by Tom. He's lied, straight up.
We're a decision-making body, so we receive a referral from your job centre and obviously make a decision based on the information on that referral. So if there is any additional information that can help the decision maker look at it again,
Yeah.
then send that to us. But what I'm going to do is get the decision maker, I've already spoken to her, and she's going to put it all together in writing and send it out to you tomorrow.
Regarding the decision with Tom,
Regarding this decision that was made, I don't know who Tom is that someone in the job centre?
he's the person who did the referral for the sanction. He's the one that that gave me the signing on sheet, the signing declaration to sign.
He works in the job centre, does he?
He's the person who interviewed me for my sign-on the 17th of March.
Yeah.
And he's the one who's claimed that I didn't bring any evidence to the sign-on, which is complete nonsense.
Right.
And I know that you've already mentioned the recordings, but I have recorded evidence of him blatantly lying. So it's just like it's an open and shut case, and the only reason that the DWP won't deal with it correctly is because they're incompetent. They're shown to be incompetent.
Okay. Well, like I said, in terms of the explanation for this decision, I'm going to get that sent out to you tomorrow, and then we can go from there. If you have got any further evidence, obviously send that back to us.
Well, the whole thing. I'm still waiting for a response from the government legal department. You see, they've sent me threats of legal action and excessive costs, and considering that come from a government legal department, they failed to even mention who they are on the letter. So I've responded to them special delivery, requesting to know the name of the person who's done that. I've got complaints going right back to September, October of 2014. You won't be getting just all the information regarding Tom and this decision. You're getting the full set of complaints dating right back to September, October of 2014. The Job Centre Plus at Eastbrook Court is so complicitly corrupt on record that the DWP's unwillingness to actually deal with it, the conceptual weight of the file is clearly indicating just how incompetent you people really are. And I'm not referring to you personally, sir, but ultimately everybody I've spoken to, including the lady I spoke to earlier on, Evon, who just shouldn't have even bothered calling me if she wasn't willing to proceed with the call, shows just how incompetent they are. So you give me whatever you want to in writing, you'll get it all back rebutted, and I'm still going to be left in a position where my complaints are not ultimately being dealt with. So go ahead and send me what you want, because you've still not given me any information, and this call so far has proven to be ultimately useless.
Well, no, the call, requesting the call back, the purpose of the call is to inform you that's what we're going to do. We're not
Can you say where the call back actually was issued from? Because I've been making calls from the 20th of March, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's now the 9th of June. So why is it taking so long?
We have called you back previously, but it's not on record. I don't know why this has come through again.
You never do. And no offence, sir, but you people never do know why this has happened and why that's happened. None of you do. And when someone tries to tell you why it's happened, they get targeted.
Well, we deal with any requests that are sent through to us on a daily basis, so we receive this from the job centre.
Right.
Give you a call.
Do you know who sent this in to actually put the call back in?
It comes direct from the job centre. That's the information.
It's very possibly Robert Lang then, who's responded to my letter dated the 1st of June. So ultimately, speaking to you guys on the phone does absolutely nothing at all until you actually physically write in. So that's what I'm going to do. So you send me all your stuff out, because ultimately this call isn't going to prove to be getting anywhere. I had a formal complaint taken by Paul on the 20th of March, and he told me that I wanted the call to be recorded. He said this call's recorded. Obviously he was recording it on his end, and I says I want this recording to be my formal complaint. He assured me that the mandatory reconsideration went through. He took a formal complaint, and it's not until I write in again on the 1st of June that it gets answered to, from the 20th of March. So you send all your information in, and I'll rebut it on paper. Because you know, should this call be recorded and listened to, I want the people who are listening to it to take my notes seriously, that there's complete incompetence, gross negligence and misconduct of office, including legal threats from the government legal department with no standing, because they can't even say who they are. You're just incompetent fools. And I'm going to take every measure to rebut everything that you've put in front of me, and make civil complaints for distress and alarm and destitution. Do you know what Tom did on the 17th of March was a criminal act with intent to cause harm?
That's obviously not, it's not going to affect anything that we can offer you, the service we can offer you now.
The decision to have me disallowed sanctioned was due to not having evidence. I've told you that I did have evidence. I've still got that evidence now.
Well, that's great. So when you receive this document, if you send that in, then we can look at the decision again. But obviously,
the problem again, sir, is I already sent a 1LS form and a mandatory reconsideration sent first class on the 26th of March. I've already done this, pal. I've already done the mandatory reconsideration customer statement and sent it in to you. I've sent you another copy as of today's date to Helen Bass from Eastbrook Court Job Centre. So the information that you're going to send me is more than likely the mandatory reconsideration in the customer sheet. Is that right?
Well, I will. No. This will be a full explanation of why the decision was made. What I will do is, because this is the first time I've dealt with this case,
Yeah.
I'm going to have a look and trace back and see if there is any record of us receiving anything like that.
The problem is that Conversations is not very forthcoming on the actual facts and what's being said. It doesn't cover it, you see. And that's the problem. And the very common response that one hears from somebody from the DWP department is, I don't know, it's not on the system, I wasn't told, and I'm just doing my job. So I would really appreciate if you could do that for me and backdate it and go right back to the 20th of March from where the complaints first made regarding Tom. Three calls, one from Peter, a call back that didn't give his name and hung up on me in the same way that Yvonne was nearly ready to do, with no just cause, regardless of what you've got on the system about what I may or may not have done in the past in terms of recording calls. It's very reasonable just to phone somebody up and proceed with the call if they're being reasonable with you. But I think there's a lot of people on the other end of these bloody calls that just don't know what they're talking about. And she can't even give me the law. There is no law that says I cannot record. Do you know what I'm saying? Don't fob me off with nonsense like the Data Protection Act stops me from recording calls because I know better, and so do a lot of legally qualified solicitors out there. So, you know, Evan will also be on the list of complaints that you will get in writing. Am I assuming that if I am going to make a complaint, it needs to go to Eastbrook Court Job Centre?
Yes.
Right, well, that's where I'll send it, because it will be forthcoming within the next week or so. I'm still waiting to see if the government legal department have got the balls to respond to my letter that was sent special delivery, and see what kind of nonsense and fraud they're going to come up with.
That's obviously something that you can take up. So, in terms of...
It will all be in the letter. I've got it dated back to the September, October of 2014.
Okay, that's obviously, that's entirely up to you what you do with that. So in terms of this, we'll get this sent out to you tomorrow, okay?
So the decision at the moment is that you're wanting more information from me?
We've received a request to explain to you why the decision was made, so that's what we're going to send out to you. Obviously, if you have got further information, you can send that in and we'll consider that. That's the point we're at with it.
Is the record of a 1LS and mandatory reconsideration on the system?
I can have a look for that. But in terms of this request, this is what we're going to do for you. So if there's anything further, once you've received this, then obviously get back in touch with us.
Would you please put on the system Robert Lang and Helen Bass? They're the last points of contact with Eastbrook Court Job Centre. They now have a copy, or they will have. I sent it first class recorded delivery today, and I sent them copies because you see I made a request on the 1st of June to Robert Lang. He was dealing with my rapid reclaim and setting all that up. So when I sent him all the requested information, I also enclosed a request in the letter, the cover letter, to inquire as to why the 1LS and mandatory reconsideration hadn't received a response to them. So when I did a sign-on declaration today and sent it to Helen Bass, team leader, I enclosed copies of those documents. So if you are going to backdate it to it would be the 17th of March. The first complaints I did was the 20th. Had several calls over a few weeks, over the last 6 weeks regarding these issues, but none of them have gone answered to. I don't know why I'm getting a call from you all of a sudden in June to deal with this matter when it's all been done on paper already. From March, 26th of March, that's when they were posted in first class.
Yeah, okay, well that's fine then. And like I say, I'll get this sent out to you tomorrow. But that's where we're at with it at the minute. If you receive the letter from ourselves and you want to send anything further in, then please do. We'll look at it again.
This information I'm going to send back to you, when you consider that information, will the possibility of the decision being overturned be a possibility if you deem the information I provide to be reasonable?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the purpose of it. The decision maker made a decision based on what the referral stated from the job centre. So if there's anything further, then the same decision maker will look at it again. If they deem that you have done enough during that period, then yes.
So what you're describing here is the mandatory reconsideration. That's what it sounds like, isn't it?
Yes, right.
Yeah. So this is where you do need to backdate it then, because it goes right back to the 20th of March. I made the calls regarding Tom. That's how I found out why I hadn't been paid that day. You see. And I physically come back into the job centre and spoke to Tom again on the 25th, and it's there he gave me the mandatory reconsideration and 1LS form, the JSA 1 ILS form, which I posted I signed and dated them as of the 25th, the day he gave me them, and posted them first class on the 26th. So that's basically, it sounds to me like what you are now answering to 2 months later.
Right, well we received a request today to give you a call back from the job centre. So
That may very well have been the letter dated the 1st of June to Robert Lang. So it's Robert Lang and Helen Bass, who you probably want to be. If you want to speak to anyone regarding my claim, those are the last two people to deal with it. And I've just sent a letter today, as of the 9th of June, for my signing declaration to be posted in with my evidence. So more than likely they'll be the best people to speak to regarding my claim up to date.
Okay. Well, the decision maker's aware of this, and she's going to do it first thing tomorrow and get it sent out to you.
Right. Okay. I look forward to that, and I'll get it back to you. I take it will just be a customer statement then. That's basically all you're after then, aren't you?
Well, it's entirely up to you. We will send you an explanation of the decision. If you have or you haven't got further evidence, that's then. If you have, then send it in. Sometimes people haven't, and that's it. That's the end of it. If you have and you send it in, the decision maker will look at it. If they feel that it is enough, that you did enough, they'll overturn it. If it isn't, then it will go further.
Do you know the worst part of it is? The previous sign-on session, right, the 3rd of March, Tom stated, and I quote, "No, I'm quite happy with your job search evidence." Brought the same quality of evidence as I always have. Since August 2014, no one can refute my evidence. The previous sign-on session, he was completely and utterly, yep, okay, I'm quite happy with your job search. Quote. What he's done is deliberately ignore and refuse to acknowledge my evidence on the 17th is what he's done. I've gone down there and stated it's my legal right to sign on. I want to sign on. I've brought the evidence of the jobs that I've applied for and I want to proceed. Quote, my words to him. He refused to deal with me. And what's worse is he has been caught on recording doing this, which is the worst part about it.
That's obviously something that I've not been involved in. I don't know.
No, then do you know what, mate? That would be consistent with how that place is run. You've no idea how many times I've had to tell you what I've told you, just on the basic details of it, multiple times, all to go in one ear and out the other. None of it gets recorded in conversations.
Well, in terms of this, obviously we're the decision making team, so we're based on state contract, which is why obviously it's nowhere near Bradford, which is why we don't know anyone in the job centre. So we will do this from our side. Obviously, if you have got the further evidence, which you state you have, once you receive this, if you send it back to us, then the decision maker will look at it.
You mean the evidence of the job search or the evidence that proves Tom's lie?
The evidence of the job search, that's what the dispute is.
No problem. If all he had to do was look at the... I wouldn't mind, but I brought it in again for him on the 25th. Do you know what I'm saying? This is just completely... what I will do is send you the evidence for the 3rd and the 17th. It's the two times that I saw Tom. So if...
Previously, I understand why you may be a bit frustrated with it, but this is what we can do now.
Yeah.
So when you receive this day after tomorrow, then action that with the further evidence, and we will get it dealt with. Okay. I can't obviously do anything about what's wrong before, so this is what we'll do.
You will get it in writing anyway. I mean, but like you said, that needs to be issued into the actual job centre, doesn't it? The formal complaint on paper.
And that actual complaint does, yeah. In terms of further evidence, we'll send you an envelope, which you can, the first class reply envelope, which you can.
That's fantastic. I can send you all my evidence back through there for the 3rd and the 17th of March. And as you'll see in the evidence that I send you, if the 3rd of March was, I'm quite happy with your job search, there's no justification for saying so on the 17th. It was there right in front of him. If it's probably not possible to go back as far on the actual job search JCP cameras, but I had the whole desk in the booth covered with documents. I had all my files out right in front of him and stated and showed him I brought me evidence for the jobs I've applied for. This was deliberate action, and he has committed a crime. This is not just about being sanctioned. This is a crime what he's done. I've been thrown out because they don't like me asking questions. In fact, Yvonne accused me of recording just because I was asking questions, like it's suspicious to ask questions. Do you know what I mean? When she phones me up and I ask her, oh, can I just ask who you are, love it? You know, before you start talking about my personal stuff, just find out who you are first. And that's suspicious. Can I have your name, please? And you're asking questions. You know, she brings up the issue about the law and recordings, and I ask her what law is that, just out of curiosity. And and that's somehow suspicious to me asking her, you know, why do you ask? Because you brought it up. Do you know what I'm saying? This is the level of professionalism. There is no professionalism. So you guys need to jog on, because if people, you're just not making yourselves look right good at all. You've got no credibility if this conduct keeps going on. I know it's first time I spoke to you, mate. Nothing personal. You're a manager, so you actually do need to hear it.
Well, like I say, I can understand your frustration.
It's completely justified. I was made distressed and alarmed. I went without money for a further 6 weeks just because Tom lied.
Well, like I've said, we can only deal with it in terms of what we can action for you, in terms of what we've already discussed. So if you
Yeah.
action that as soon as you get it, and then as soon as it's returned to us, then the decision maker will look at it again.
Well, I'm happy to sort of end it on that note just now, but while I do have you on the phone, could I make a little query? I'm now on a postal service with the Eastbrook Court Job Centre. Now they've assured me the sign-on dates will be the same, and that I have to sign the signing declaration and post it on the same date that I have to sign on. In today's case it was the 9th, so it's today's date, which I've done. But they've also assured me that I would receive my payment as normal on the Friday. Now, if it takes 3 days for the payments to clear, they're not going to get that signing declaration until, at the very bare minimum, a few days after, quite possibly Monday, Tuesday next week, given the fact that it's second-class post, 5 working days. So how would my payment for Friday be made to be on time if they receive the signing declaration many days after the actual signing date?
To be honest, this is the first instance that I know in terms of doing a postal signing, because obviously we don't work in a job centre. Being honest with you, I don't know how they work it. So you need to speak to them about that, because obviously you want to know that in advance, don't you? You want to know what day you're going to get your payment.
Well, that's the thing. I was assured it was the Friday,
By
but
the job centre.
yeah, it was a call back relating to a lady. I made a request for an advance payment to Robert Lang on the 1st of June, whilst he processed the claim form, which again was 3 weeks overdue. They processed the rapid. It's so much for a rapid reclaim, by the way. There's no such thing as a rapid reclaim.
Well, like I say, I would speak to the job centre.
Yeah,
I
I know
don't
it's.
want to tell you something which.
No, it's fair enough. It was just a quick query, that's all. I know it's not even related to why. I just wondered, you might have known.
I would have to go and ask them myself anyway. So if you get in touch with them, I'm sure they'll be able to tell you that. But in terms of this, what we can help you with, as we've already discussed, we'll get that done tomorrow.
Yeah, well, I'll send a covering letter with further information. I may just give you a copy of the formal letter, dating back to all my complaints.
Yep, that's no problem.
Because you see, I don't have to explain myself, but certainly the issue around recording. Put it this way: if you know somebody's going into your backyard and nicking your clothes, and it goes on for weeks, no, months, and you try and get somebody to deal with the situation and they refuse, and you mount a little hidden camera on your somewhere, on your house, aimed at your washing, and you're able to catch that perpetrator, don't tell me you're not allowed to make that public record. Do you know what I'm saying? Use your common sense, people. Just use your common sense. I didn't just make a new claim in August of 2014 and decide to be a dick. I didn't start recording until February of 2015, after months of deliberately complaints being swept under the rug. I recorded for myself for my own bloody protection, because they're blatantly lying and denying at the job centre. You understand? I just want you to be clear on the facts that I'm not recording or intending to be a dick. Do you understand my intent?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I say, it's not something that I can comment on, obviously, but I understand the frustration. Let's hope that now we can get this resolved.
Good.
So I'll get this sent out to you tomorrow then, okay?
Thank you, Matt. I'll look forward to it.
Okay, thank you for that. Take care.
You too. Bye bye, Matt.
Thanks. Bye. Bye.
Bye.